Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So we continue with our posts plugin here. So a few things we need to do in here. Number one is if I go to pages, the pages plugin works fine, only that when I click edit, I'm supposed to see which categories are ticked here, but I can't see that. So we need to fix that. The way we can actually see that in the, you see here in the post plugin, these two are ticked, but if I click here, I do see that they are ticked like that. So we need to fix that immediately. And then the second thing is when we create a page and it has the same category as particular posts, we should see those posts on the actual page here. So let's get into it. So the first thing is we need to make sure that on the pages plugin, we can actually see when we click edit which ones of these are selected. Now, of course, we can just copy whatever mechanism we're using in the posts plugin. It should work here as well. So let's go ahead. Let me see that. Let me go to my project folder and let me go to basic posts. I want to see what's in here. So I'll go to plugin.php down here. And I'm guessing this is inside the after query hook, and that's actually true. So there we get the categories row. There it is. So I'm just going to copy that, but keep in mind that we need to instantiate these categories map here as well. So let me go to basic pages, and inside basic pages plugin.php. So I want to do exactly the same thing down here, and actually I already did, so that's good. And there it is, that's good. So which means we have this part already set up. Let's look at the view file then. So let's first go to basic posts inside views, and that's the admin section, right, in the edit.php. And let's go down here. So you see our folder structure here makes it very easy to find exactly what you want to find and edit a very specific piece of content on your website. This makes it very easy to update your website because you're just updating single files with very little code in there. So organization, very important. And the more modular things are, meaning small components that you can put together, the more similar things are around the website, the better. It's going to help you speed up your workflow. So let's go ahead and look at that. Where are we? So this is the categories part. So categories is right here. And this is the part that, so let me compare what I have here. I'm just going to click to edit here, even though I'm not doing anything. That way it doesn't move when I open another file. So let me go to basic pages, and inside views and admin and the edit, let's compare and contrast. So where is the categories layer? And there it is, right? So, okay. This actually looks like it should work, but why does it not? Okay, so we have that query and categories, but we don't have this. Get categories, category IDs. So apparently we don't have that in pages. So let me just copy this and paste it here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so cat IDs, categories map. Okay, let me save that. Let's go back here and see where we have used cat IDs. So have we used it anywhere? Yes, we have, right there. So we're using this to check if one of those is in the array. So let me go here, and clearly we're not using it here. So we just want to see which ones should be checked. So here, when the conditions are right, we echo out checked. So I just want to copy this whole part here. Yeah. Let's go over here into our input, which is this one, and let's put it in here like so. All right, so category ID, if it's in the array, then checked. So cat IDs is now over here. Now we have to make sure that this is something we have actually instantiated. So let me go back to the posts thing where we know this actually works, and let's try to find where we are dealing with that. So it's not here, we didn't instantiate it from here, so meaning we did it in the plugin.php. So let's go ahead and search for it there, and there it is. So categories map is equal to basic pages categories map. Cool. So we need a similar thing inside this is the basic pages. Okay, so it is there actually. Okay, cool. So let's just test to see if it actually works as it is, and voila, it actually works. So we already set up the groundwork and things are looking up. That's cool. So everything now is good. Now let's create an actual page where we can view some posts, because this part is important. So let's imagine we have a page called clothing and the other one is for pets maybe, or something like that. So I'm just going to click add new to add a new page. So this one I'm going to call let's see, you may have something like a blog, and where you show all the posts, right? Every single post should show there, but then you may have pages that have categories. So let's go ahead and just say blog. For now, we're going to make one called blog, and then the slug, of course, it will put the slug for you because there's just one text here. You can just leave it empty. Then you can put all your descriptions for SEO, for Google search optimization, and your keywords here. Not going to do that for now. Display featured image, you may say yes or no. That's entirely up to you, but in my case I don't want to display the featured image, so all I want to do is click here. The featured image is required because, is it though? I'm not sure actually. Now this page, we want this page to have dynamic content, okay, but you can put things like a title or something. Now this is entirely up to you where you want to put your actual page content and the dynamic content. You want to put it before or after, so that's up to you. You can decide that. Now I'll just put some text here, say this is, or I'll just say our blog, or let's just say welcome to our blog. Okay, something like this. Now I want this to be a main title, so I will put my header 1 or header 2. Any of these will do just fine. So I'll do that. And now blog should have a category, right? Now category for blog should be every one of these guys, because normally the blog should show like all posts unless you go into detail. So let me save that. Record saved successfully. That's good. Now we have a blog page, but see, we have categories here. So I want a page that just shows one particular category, like food. So what I'll do is add a new page, and this one will be food, something like this. So you can name it whatever you want, check out food or whatever it is. And I don't want to display a featured image. Let's see here. Food. I don't know what to write here. Our food or something like this. So let's put header 2 here and let's save. Now this category obviously is food. So let's save that here. Boom. Food. Now just for the sake of example, let's put one more that will have clothing, yeah, just so we can see the differences. And of course our clothing, like that. And let's put our title over here and clothing here and save. Awesomeness. Okay, so at least we have a few more pages. Now keep in mind that we won't see those pages over here until we add them to the menu. So let's go to our menu. Menu. Let's add new, and here we just say blog, of course. What is the link to the page? Right, so this is most important because this is what will determine which page is loaded. You can type whatever title here, but if you say blog here, then it will load the blog page. So this is just what the link will be. So you could change this to say our blog instead of just blog. Okay, and then blog here, that permission, no user permissions here. We don't need an icon yet. This doesn't have a parent. It's not a mega menu. Active, yes. So let's just hit save over here. Cool. Now let's go back. So that's our blog. Let's add clothing. Yeah. So the slug here is clothing. And the rest remains as it is. And let's save. Then finally, we add one for food, and there it is, food. We can say our food, and then the link is food, and save. Awesomeness. So if we go back, we see we have these new items, which should show over here. If I refresh, and there we go. So at least we have our blog, clothing, and our food. Now, if I click on blog, this is what we see, right? There's a title here, right, for the page. So you can design these as you wish. This is just examples, so it won't be the best designs and stuff. But designing part is entirely up to you. Let's go to clothing. There it is. I think I forgot to remove this part here. And our food, clothing. So I can go to page and say clothing. Let's edit this. And wait a second, what is this? This is the menu page. No. I want to go to actual pages. And what page is this? Clothing. So with clothing, I can go to edit, and maybe I can add a featured thingy here. Let's see, in images, do I have fashion anywhere? No, probably not. Let's see, appliances, food, property. Yeah, okay, in products, maybe I can have something. So, of course, just upload whatever images you have. Let me put that shirt there. So in the clothing category. And now at least we'll have some kind of image here showing, which is much nicer than how things were before. Now, I just want to add posts down here of our clothing. Maybe I should just put this. It looks much better. So let me edit the blog. And maybe we can have a featured image for blog. I don't know what would suit for. I have no idea. This is where I get stuck, and I can spend hours just trying to find the right image to put on a post. That's insane. Okay, so I just display featured image, yes. So let's stick to that. And let's go to our blog, and there it is. I think that looks much better. Clothing and our food. Our food will be easier to find an image. So let me edit, click, because I do have images of food over here. Now just choosing the right one is the trick. Let's see here. I want something with good resolution. Indeed, does this one look good? Display, yes, and let's hit save. Alrighty then, let me refresh. There we go, looking good. Now, yes. Okay, so with this going on here, now we can add some posts down here. Now, this is the tricky part here, because remember that the posts are coming from the posts plugin, but pages are in the pages plugin. So we're trying to make two plugins work together here. The pages will load something from the posts plugin. Now, an important note here, very important, is that you have to make sure on these pages that we are loading, in order for both plugins to work together, that they have to be loaded on those pages. Very important. Otherwise, you may think you're doing something wrong. So first of all, let's go to basic pages and see in the config file where does it work? Well, it works on all pages except these. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's promising. And let's go to basic posts. Here we look at the same thing, and it's exactly the same thing. So good, this is gonna work because they both work on same pages. Okay, cool. That's number one. And what we're gonna do now is, okay, so what we want is to use our hook system. So what do I mean? Now, when we go to pages, so this is basic pages, not in the edit. Let me close these actually. Let's go to basic pages in the view front end, right? So view, instead of the admin, the front end view. So this is the part that actually shows our page in the front end here. So we have our image there, if it's allowed to show, an HR, and then we view the content. So after the content, we want to now add something here. Let's add some PHP tags, shall we? So here at this point, we wanted to check for posts. If they exist, then show them. Now, the best way to do this without causing problems, we don't want to start running queries over here, because what will happen is, in case for any reason you don't have the basic posts plugin, then you're going to have errors here. The way we want to make our plugins is in such a way that you can remove any plugin without causing errors. So it could be a good exercise to do when you're done with designing your website. You remove some plugins and see what still works and what doesn't. And if there are any errors, you fix them so that each plugin is independent. So the best way to do this is to use the do action function here. So let's go ahead and say do action. Now we can put the do action here because we want an action to occur when we load this part. Now, in case you are a little blurry on what to put in here, first of all, you put your hook and then you put any data that you want transferred within the action. Now, we don't want to use the do filter because we are not editing some info, we're just trying to do something. So that's why we're using the do action. So it's always good, remember that we are in the pages plugin, it's always good to use the name of the plugin you're targeting first, and then you put some other name that would describe your hook. Now, really, you don't have to follow those rules. You can just put whatever. Just say show posts like this as a hook. Now, the characters don't matter. You can do it this way, you can do it that way. Something like this, like show posts, right? This is good and fine. The only problem is it's very possible that another plugin will use this hook. That's why I prefer to actually put the plugin name here in part of the hook here. So the plugin we're targeting is the basic posts plugin. So I'm just going to say basic-posts, and then we I don't know, you can use hyphen, underscore, this is entirely up to you really. So let's go basic posts and then show posts. Usually the convention is that the actual hook has underscore, but yeah, something like this. Now, like I've said many times, this is entirely up to you. You can put any text in here as long as you match it with the actual function that you're going to create. That's all that counts. So this the only reason I'm taking time to design this properly is so that it's as unique as possible, because it has to be unique throughout the entire website. So okay, so we have basic posts here. Now let's think whatever data that we may want to give this function. So there will be a function. Now this function will be inside the basic posts plugin instead of here, inside the basic pages plugin. So it won't know what we've loaded. Now it needs to know what page we're on, for example, or whatever data you think is important. Now in this case, we have a row here with data that from the page, right? So now it's up to you. If you want, you can just grab the entire row and send it through, okay? That could work because then you have all the data you need You may think, okay, I just need the row ID, maybe the ID of the post of the page. But then once you get to the other plugin, now if you just have an ID of the page, you may need to get the data of the entire page. Then again, you need another hook because that's a different plugin again. So rule of thumb, give it as much data as you may need for now and the future. So I've just put the entire row in there so that I can get everything I need, the plugin, the categories it's in, and etc, etc. So row will be there. Now this may not actually be enough because you don't know what you may need in the future. In the future you may need page number, something added here. So a good rule of thumb is to just put an array with data. So here I'll say, for example, row like this, and then put the actual row in there like so. That way I'm sending an array. That way in future, in case I need to add more data to this, instead of having to change, because let's say, for example, I just put row like this. Row is an object, right? So it will expect, the actual function will expect an object. Now, if I decide, oh, I need one more piece of data here, then now I'm going to put an array, right? Because now I need extra data. Or I could put another comma and add one more item here, which may start confusing things. So if we already put an array, even though we have one item, it will be easy to expand in the future because we can easily just put second item here like so and put some other whatever value we want here, and it won't disturb the flow of the website. You won't get any errors like this because even on the other side it's still expecting an array. So this is the better way to do it. So like this, even though none of that makes any works already, if I refresh, I don't get any errors, you see. So this is good, even though this hook does not exist. That way, any plugin that is using this hook can be removed without getting any errors. Right. So good. Now we have this. So I'm going to copy this hook because this is the important bit. Now I'm going to go to basic posts where the actual function that we are running here will reside. So in basic posts, we go to plugin.php. This is where we want to put it. So we're trying to add an action over here. So let's go down to the bottom here. And there we are. So let's add an action. Add action. Oopsie. There we go. Now in here we put our hook. Yes. And we already know the hook is basic posts, show posts. That's matching that one. Now, if you want this to be dynamic, you can do that by putting plugin ID instead, or plugin name. I don't even remember what the function is called. Then it will change whenever you change the plugin name instead of basic posts, in case you change your plugin name somehow. But let's just leave it as it is for now. Let's not complicate things. So we are supplying in a function with data like so. Okay, so let's put some code there. So now it's as simple as this. So now let's refresh here. And let me go back here and just echo something. Okay, say this is from the posts plugin, like that. Okay, so two plugins working together. Let me refresh and you see that this is from the posts plugin. Even though we are loading the pages plugin, we are running something from the posts plugin. Now, the advantage of doing it this way is now here, because this function is in the post plugin, sorry, it has access to these models here. So it can read whatever it wants from the table, like this. Now, if you're the lazy type and you don't want to do things this way, you just want to run your queries over here, and maybe you want to run the model from the posts model that loads posts, because it has that data from the pages plugin. You can do that. This is not recommended but I'm going to show you anyway. If we go to our core functions, let's go here. And there's do we have that function though? Class path. There we go. So we have this function called class path. Now what this allows you to do is it returns a class path if you give it a folder name and the class name itself, right? So it will create, it will load that thing for you. So let me just copy that and let's go here, back to our view. So let me mute this for a second. So if I mute this, then automatically this function becomes useless in the posts. It doesn't work anywhere unless somebody summons it. So like this, we have no errors either way, whatever we try to do. Okay, cool. But then the not so good way of doing it, sometimes you may be left with only this option. So I'm just showing you here because you may need to be able to do it. So let's say, for example, basic posts, where is that? Yeah. So I want the model from basic posts. I want this one, this model for getting posts. So I can say something like posts is equal to new, and then I'll say, because I know the namespace is basic posts, and then the actual class is post, like this. Okay, now I want to see what posts contains. Actually, it shouldn't be plural, it's just singular. Post is equal to post. So let's see if I try to load a class from the basic posts page. Let's see what we get. So of course I get an error because it doesn't know this class was not found because we are running this from the pages plugin. Okay, so we can't really find this. Now using class path, you could do this. You can say require, like so. That way you load the class that you want to instantiate it here before you load it. Now you tell it what folder it's from. This one is from the basic posts folder. And what is the class name? The class name here is post, capital post, like that. All right, so let's see if that actually works. And undefined variable class name. Okay, so wait, what have I done? Class path, basic posts, post. Wait. Undefined variable class name in online 600. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? So inside function online 600, it's saying class name. Oh, sorry, my bad. You see, there's a difference here. For some reason, I don't understand. Anyway, let's do that. Just this variable should be this variable here. All right, so we fixed that, and let me refresh. Require, failed to open, no such file. Plugins, basic posts, post. Okay, so that actually folder, I don't know why I made all these mistakes. You see, classes are inside models in the model folder, so I should have put models in here like so before putting the class name there. All right, so that fixes that. And now you can see I have loaded that class file from the posts plugin. So this is how you can load a so let's make sure that function is correct, which it is now. So this is how you can require a class from a different plugin within a different plugin. But I do not recommend you do this because in case for some reason I remove, let's go to basic posts here. Let me go to config and active. Let me put that at false. That way we disable the posts page. Now we are loading the pages plugin, but then oh, actually disabling it doesn't do anything because the file still exists, right? Okay, so what I want to do is just, for some reason, if we imagined that the basic posts plugin was removed, or let me just rename it. So I'm gonna, if that's possible, let me put a 2 at the end there, like so. Okay, so it's a different folder now. And there we go. So we have an error. So we can imagine that if somebody removed that other plugin, we will have an error. Whereas if we did it this other way, like so, we wouldn't get any errors at all. Even though that file no longer exists, we don't get any errors. It says this is from the posts plugin. How is it still running? Oh, okay, because it can still run even though we changed the name here, because it's still being loaded. So what we need to do in this case is disable this plugin. So even this plugin is disabled, we just don't see the posts anymore. So this is why this is a better way of doing things. So let me undo where I set it back to true. Let me rename this folder back to its original. And yep, let me close these files that are now orphaned. What is this? Okay, this one exists. There we go. So if I refresh, this is from the posts plugin. Okay, so much better thing to do here. Let me see also what data we got. So this is from the posts plugin, and then let's do this and check out what are we getting in that data. I'm hoping to get the contents of the page, and true to that, we are getting the contents of the page. Very cool. All right, guys, so far so good. Now we can instead tell it to load posts over here, and let's do that in the next video.